From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the afternoon news for October 1st, 2025. These are the stories we are covering at this hour. The U.S. Supreme Court on Wednesday allowed Lisa Cook to remain as a Federal Reserve governor, for now, declining to act on the Trump administration's effort to immediately remove her from the central bank. In a brief, unsigned order, the High Court said it would hear arguments in January over Republican President Donald Trump's effort to force Cook off the Fed board. The court will consider whether to block a lower court ruling in Cook's favor while her challenge to her firing by Trump continues. The High Court order was a rare instance of Trump not quickly getting everything he wants from the justices in an emergency appeal. There's been no movement so far among senators on reopening the government. Thus far, the Senate vote to advance the Republicans' bill that would reopen the government has fallen along the same voting pattern as it did when it failed Tuesday night. The same three members of the Democratic caucus who voted for it, Senators Catherine Cortez Masto, John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, and Angus King of Maine, have voted for it again, but no other Democrat has. Part of a New York City apartment building has collapsed. A massive brick chimney running 20 stories up the side of a New York City apartment building collapsed after an explosion on Wednesday, sending tons of debris plummeting to the ground. Mayor Eric Adams said no injuries or deaths were reported in the collapse of the chimney, which rose up from the public housing building's boiler room. Officials notified of an explosion in the Bronx just after 8 a.m. were trying to determine if there was a gas leak. The falling bricks buried a sidewalk, landed on the building's playground, and sent a cloud of dust billowing over the block. Video shows a portion of the chimney that rose above the roof line crumbling last and then tumbling to the ground. "We avoided a major disaster here," said Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson at a news conference. The mound of rubble was littered with air conditioners, which appear to have been ripped out of apartment windows by the falling bricks. News helicopter footage showed a rescue dog bounding over the huge pile of bricks at the bottom of the building, sniffing for anyone who might be buried under the rubble. The Environmental Protection Agency was already reeling from massive staff cuts and dramatic shifts in priority and policy. A government shutdown raises new questions about how it can carry out its funding mission of protecting America's health and environment with little more than a skeletal staff and funding. In President Donald Trump's second term, the EPA has leaned hard into an agenda of deregulation and facilitating Trump's boosting of fossil fuels like oil, gas, and coal to meet what he has called an energy emergency. Jeremy Simons, a former EPA policy official under President Bill Clinton, said it's natural to worry that a shutdown will lead the worst polluters to treat it as a chance to dump toxic pollution without getting caught. Nobody will be holding polluters accountable for what they dump into the air we breathe, in the water we drink, while EPA is shut down, Simons said, now a senior advisor to the Environmental Protection Network, a group of former agency officials advocating for a strong, earth-friendly department. This administration has already been implementing a serial shutdown of EPA, Simons said, whittling away at EPA's ability to do its job. A scientific study of pollution from about 200 coal-fired power plants during the 2018-2019 government shutdown found they significantly increased their particulate matter emissions due to the EPA's furlough. Soot pollution is connected to thousands of deaths per year in the United States. And that's the news at this hour. If you are watching our news videos on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.